based on science.
Hey everyone, Matt Thomas here. Thanks for watching. So this is the third video in the Neuroeducation 101 series. Again, the purpose of the series is to give teachers a strong foundation in how the brain learns, and by using that information, we can make our instruction more efficient, more effective, more enjoyable. This is part 2 of the Creating an Effective Learning Environment video. If you haven't seen part 1, please watch part 1 first. So real quick review of the previous video. There are 4 steps to creating an effective learning environment, and let's be real. It's not, as teachers, it's not always what we teach, but rather how we teach that will that can influence our students and how well they learn the material. As an English teacher, as a 9th grade English teacher, right? The other 9th grade English teachers, we're all going to teach the same material. If you're teaching world history, most likely all the world history teachers will teach the same material. But it's how we teach that can really influence whether our students, learn the material effectively or efficiently. So the first step was, if you recall from the previous video, model the behavior that you'd like to see in your class. The second step is to take away distractions that would cause the students to not be able to learn as efficiently as they could. Let's get into steps 3 and 4, and it's all about the dopamine. Okay, so step 3 is create dopamine in our students. Dopamine is one of those misunderstood hormones. A lot of people, when they think of dopamine, they think it's a feel-good hormone. There's many studies that support that dopamine is also released when bad things are happening to a person, when they're stressed out, when they're feeling depressed. So dopamine is involved in a lot of things in our brain. One of the things, though, is it's involved in anticipation. So when you're anticipating something that you enjoy, dopamine is released. So dopamine is not released after something happens, right? That's more often serotonin. Dopamine is released before something happens if a person is anticipating. So a vacation's coming up and you think about the vacation, you're like, oh, you get excited, that's dopamine. If a person, anytime someone's looking forward to something, that's dopamine. We can take advantage of that as teachers. So first of all, what we want to do is create lessons that the students enjoy, right? Get the students to anticipate that they're going to enjoy your class. That really all goes back to step 1, is creating an environment of respect, right? A model behavior you want your students to show in your class. If your students feel valued, if they feel that you appreciate the effort that they put in and them showing up to class, right? They're going to look forward to your class. If they know that your lessons are going to be enjoyable, fun, engaging. That term engaging is used in education a lot, but we don't always talk about what that means, and that is so important. You want lessons that your students look forward to doing. You want lessons that your students enjoy doing, right? Fun lessons. Create excitement in there. Change of environment. Get students out of their seat. Go out, have class outside. Do something that's enjoyable for the students. If you're doing that consistently and the students know they're feeling valued in class, then they are going to look forward to your class. Now, the thing is this. Dopamine can be addicting, right? Our brain likes dopamine. And so we talk about action, prediction, reaction. If the brain knows that Mrs. Johnson's 3rd period class is coming up, and the students love Mrs. Johnson's class because she creates these really fun lessons, then the brain is going to predict that the Mrs. Johnson's class that day is going to be great. So a student sitting in 2nd period will go, oh my gosh, Mrs. Johnson's class 3rd period's coming up, yay. So they're going to walk into class with a positive mindset, prepared to learn. Here's the thing, if that happens consistently, the brain is predicting that it's going to happen, and so the student, every day, right, it makes it even better, right? It's better for classroom management because the student every day is looking forward to coming to your class because their brain is predicting that class is going to be wonderful. So you want to create that the dopamine in the students, and one of the best ways to do that is to create dopamine in teachers. So this is step 4. This is something that is rarely talked about and needs to be talked about more often. Teachers creating lesson plans that they themselves enjoy teaching. So a question that I ask teachers is, think of your favorite lesson that you like to teach. And then, teachers will think of their favorite lesson. Then I always ask this, why isn't every lesson your favorite? So really, you want every lesson to be your favorite. Think of what worked in your favorite lesson, or the lesson where you go, wow, that was amazing, that was great, that was wonderful, the students were engaged. And I always say, okay, do that. Do that again. Don't go back to anything else. If you have a lesson that your students love, that was engaging, that was enjoyable, that got them out of the seats, that learning was happening, do that every time, right? Create your lessons every time in a way that's enjoyable for you to teach. Think of your favorite lessons. Create that. It's going to cause you to enjoy your career. It's going to be career longevity, right? You won't get burned out. You're going to look forward to class every day rather than sometimes, being stressed before class. You'll be looking forward to it because you're like, oh my gosh, the students are going to love that lesson that I'm going to do. Every lesson should be that. Now, let's be real, right? We're teachers. There are days we just have to write the essay. I understand that, right? It's more like instructional lessons. Every lesson you create should be your favorite. Do it in a way that you would love to be taught, and do it in a way that you want to teach. And that should be addressed in every single PLC. When you're sitting around with your fellow department, and let's say you've agreed on what to teach, then everyone should be asked, okay, how are you going to make it enjoyable? How are you going to teach it to make it fun? And then go around the room and let everyone give their input, because there may be things as a teacher I'm like, dude, I've never done that. I want to do what that guy's doing. That's amazing. And then make it your own. So, real quick review over all the steps. Creating an effective learning environment, so important. Step 1, model the behavior that you want, right? Because teenagers model adult behavior. We know action, prediction, reaction. Then calm the amygdala, and I've talked about in the first video, that's a metaphor for really take away any distractions that would cause a limit in learning in your class. Step 3, create lessons that are exciting and enjoyable for your students to learn. They're going to look forward to coming to your class every day. That is going to be great for classroom management. And step 4, make lessons that you love to teach. That is so, so important. If you love to teach it and it's enjoyable and you're looking at it from a student perspective, your students will love your class and look forward to coming to it every day. Thanks for watching.